Hola a todo el mundo, ¿cómo están? Espero que todos estén bien. Bienvenido otra vez a mi canal de YouTube. Mi nombre es Fernando. Hoy vamos a continuar desde la última clase. ¿Ok? Si tú quieres aprender a hablar español, sigue viendo. So we are going to continue today with conversational Spanish, learning how to keep up a conversation with someone in Spanish. Remember that last class we learned how to ask, how are you? Both formal and informal. We also learned the responses when someone asks you, how are you? We also did, where are you from? How do you ask somebody, where are you from in Spanish? Both formal and informal. We also discussed what is formal and what is informal. We also did the responses for when someone asks you, where are you from? How do you say, I am from which and whichever country? So if you missed the last video, what I would like you to do is to just click the link right here. This link right here. Click this link to take you back to last week's class. But let's go. We're going to start with today's topic. La tema es saludar a la gente en español. Ok, vamos a empezar. How do you ask someone, where do you live in Spanish? It is ¿Dónde vives? ¿Dónde vives? This is how you ask someone, where do you live? Now, this is a question for you. I want you to tell me which form this is. Is it the informal or the formal? ¿Dónde vives? If you said the informal, then you are correct. ¿Dónde vives is how you ask a friend, someone you are already acquainted with, where do you live? What if you're meeting someone for the first time, you're at the bar, and you want to have a conversation with someone that you never spoke to before? How do you ask that person, where do you live? It will be ¿Dónde vive? Just take off the S and ¿Dónde vive? From informal to formal. So this is how you ask someone in Spanish, both ways. Where do you live? This can come in very, very, very handy. Let's say you are walking on the road and you see a little girl to the side of the street. She looks stranded. You can go to that little girl and you can ask her, ¿Dónde vives? ¿Dónde vives? So if someone asks you, discúlpeme señor, ¿dónde vives? Or, discúlpeme señorita, ¿dónde vives? How do you respond to that person? You respond by saying, yo vivo en whatever community. So if you live in Cayon, it is going to be, yo vivo en Cayon. If you're living in Bastille, it is going to be, yo vivo en Bastille. Whatever community that you live in, you're going to use yo vivo en. That is how you respond to someone when they ask you, ¿Dónde vives? So if you're wondering why I am saying vivo and vives, it is because in Spanish, the V has two pronunciations. It can be pronounced either as a V or a B. In places like La República Dominicana y Puerto Rico, they pronounce the V as a B. But in places like Peru or Guatemala, they pronounce their V as a V. So depending on who you are speaking to and what country they are from, they're going to be pronouncing their V different. But whether they pronounce it as a V or whether they pronounce it as a B, it's all grammatically correct. Vamos a continuar. ¿Cómo se dice, what is your name en español? ¿Cómo se dice, what is your name en español? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? This is how you ask someone, what is your name? What if you want to be polite? How do you say this in the polite way? ¿Cómo se llama usted? ¿Cómo se llama usted? This is the polite way or the formal way. Point to note, In Espanol, when you see two L's, it can be pronounced two ways. It can be pronounced either as a J or a Y. So some people would say, ¿Cómo te llamas? And some people would say, ¿Cómo te llamas? But both ways are totally fine. Whichever way is easier for you is totally fine. So it's either ¿Cómo te llamas? Or ¿Cómo te llamas? This is how we ask someone, what is your name in Espanol? How do you respond when someone asks you, ¿Cómo te llamas? Someone approaches you and says, Hola señor, ¿cómo te llamas? Or Hola señorita, ¿cómo te llamas? How do you respond? You respond by saying, Me llamo Billy. Or Me llamo Juan. Whatever your name is, you're going to put Me llamo. Now this is very important. Never ever ever say Me llamo es. Never ever ever say Me llamo es. This is grammatically incorrect. Okay, it is always Me llamo. Now there are many ways of responding by saying my name is, but we are still in the beginner stage. So when we get a little bit more advanced, I'm going to give you all the different ways of responding to what is your name. But for now, let's stick with the one that is most used, Me llamo. When you are ending a conversation in Spanish and you want to tell the person it was nice meeting you or it was a pleasure to meet you, what do you say? You can say, Mucho gusto. Nice to meet you. And if you really want to impress that person, you can say the extra polite way. Es un placer conocerte. People love this one. Es un placer conocerte. This means it is a pleasure to meet you. Right? So it's either one. Whichever one you want to use. Mucho gusto, which is easier, or you can challenge yourself by saying, Es un placer conocerte. Es un placer conocerte. These are what you can say when you are ending a conversation, when you want to tell the person, it was nice to meet you, or it was a pleasure to meet you. Trust me, that person will be blown away by your Spanish skills. Muchas gracias por ver este video. Suscríbete por favor. On this channel, you will learn how to keep up a conversation with someone in Spanish, whether in your country or whether you are traveling. Subscribe so that you'll be notified for our future videos. Pure conversational Spanish. This is what this channel deals with. So thank you for watching. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.